Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Talking Movies with D, and that's me. Um, I'm doing another different video than normal. This one probably won't take as long as my most anticipated of 2016, but I'm doing my top 10 best of 2015. These are all movies that were released in 2015. Some of them I saw in 2016, since we're like 9 days in. How many days? What was it? 9 days? Oh yeah, 9 days. I was right. But they were released on 2015, and that's kind of why this video is coming out a little later than I wanted it to, because some of the movies were in such limited release. I wasn't able to see them until now, which I think I saw one. The last one I saw was yesterday. So yeah, let's get to my top 10 of 2015 movies that came out in 2015. But before I do, like I did with my most anticipated, I want to do my honorable mentions because these are movies that liked, or I probably loved all those. Yeah, all movies that were great in 2015, but they just couldn't make my top 10. And I was so close to just saying, let me do a top 20, but I don't want to make the video that long. So I'm doing my best to keep them as short as possible and give you all the information. The first movie I do want to bring up is Spotlight. Um, this one was very limited release, and I only saw half of it. I was watching the movie, and I was so engaged, and I was loving this movie, but I had to leave because of circumstances, and so I didn't get to see all of it, and I couldn't find a way to see it again because it was such limited release. So I have that as an honorable mention. I didn't want to put it on my list because I didn't see the whole thing, but I have a feeling, from what I hear, how good it was, and I have a feeling if I'd have got to finish that movie, I know it would have been on my list. I don't know where, but it was so good, and I was mad I didn't get to see all of it. But that one, and it's a hard political because it deals with a tough subject. I mean, it's Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton and dang it, I can't even think who else is in it. Amy Adams and stuff like that. But Mark Ruffalo, yeah, I couldn't think of his name, whatever. But those people are in it, and it's about the Christian faith and kids being raped by Catholic priests. Very touchy subject, but man, is it good! And the half I saw, and so I really I can't wait to see it again, and hopefully it gets Oscar buzz. That means it'll be back in theaters, and I'll see it. But so that's one of them. That's honorable mention. But the others are Ex Machina, which came out I think March of last year, which is a good sci-fi with Oscar Isaac and I don't remember Oscar Isaac the main one, and the other two I can't remember their name, but they're up and coming great stars. Like the guy, he was in Star Wars as General Hux. Dang it, I can't think of his name either. Dang it. If this was on my list, I know their names, but it's not on my list, so I can look it up. Then you got Mad Max with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. I don't know what I'm about to call her. And that love Mad Max. The night. Oh no, I almost said the wrong one. Then we have Concussion with Will Smith. Matter of fact, because I meant to do this before, because this is my top 10, there's one thing I'm going to do in honor of one of the honorable mentions. I'm going to tell the truth. Tell the truth is what I'm going to do. And that's because Concussion didn't make it on my list. And man, that movie was good. But it's an honorable mention. Another one that didn't make my list, which I thought was, and man, I don't know how it's not on there. Hateful Eight. These are close, man. A couple of these I was like, I don't see how they didn't make my list, but it's top 10. The top 10 is hard. Top 10 is hard. It had a lot of good movies. So we have that. Another one we have, and again, this is my personal list. So not all of them are just because they're great movies. They're because I have fun. Like some are dumb comedies. I don't have any horror, but if there was a horror, I mean, they had a couple horror movies, but they're not any I would be raving about. But the next one is Entourage. I love that show, and I don't know. It might not have been the best film, but as for a fan of the show, it was a great movie for the fan of the show, and it gave me everything. It was like watching 2.5 episodes of Entourage, and I loved it. I wish they made the money because they'd make another one if it did, but it didn't. So that sucks. Jurassic World's on here as an honorable mention. Another movie that kind of brought me back to my childhood. I know a lot of people give it flack for a lot of plot holes, but I saw it for what it was. It was a great popcorn movie with dinosaurs, and it did a good job of giving me that. So I had fun with it. Another one which I didn't expect to be good was Trainwreck. I love Trainwreck. Trainwreck was funny. I don't even watch any. I never really heard of Amy Schumer until this movie came out. And John Cena, LeBron James, and all the guys in there were great. So that was another one of my honorable mentions. But let's get to my list. And again, this is my list, and these movies are on my list for different reasons. Most of them in some way make me laugh because I laugh at weird stuff in movies. So you can't really make my list unless I laugh in some way, or you just have a straight. It just has a certain effect on me. So here we go. Number 10, and I almost said this movie because it was in my it might have been in my honorable mentions, but I decided to put it on the list. It's The Night Before with Seth Rogen and shoot, I did just put it on the list, and Anthony Mackie and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's about three friends. It's their last Christmas they're spending together as the three guys who hang out on Christmas, and it's just one of those R-rated comedies that I love. It's not gonna be for everybody. It's probably not the best film. It might not have been best film wise, but man, it wasn't a good Seth Rogen movie that just made me laugh through and through. I love it, and I'll probably start quoting it once I get the DVD and watch it more often. Number 9 on my list was another surprise. It's Kingsman, and I think his name's Joel Edgerton or something like that, and Samuel L. Jackson with that list. It was just it's a movie. It's sort of a making fun of spy movies, but it does it in such a good way. And Matthew Vaughn, the director, he's so good. And I think I saw that movie 2 or 3 times in theaters. Partly because I really want to see it, and others because people that I know want to see it. And I was like, yeah, I'll go see it with you. And I just loved that. Kingsman was so good. It's probably one of the best spy movies of the year. And the only other spy movie that I'd say was better in it is the number 8, and that's Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise gave us Mission Impossible Rogue One, not Rogue One, Rogue Nation. Not to get confused with Star Wars story, Rogue One, but Mission Impossible. Man, that movie was good. It was such a great spy movie, and it did what I thought Spectre would have did, but Spectre didn't do it for me at all. But Mission Impossible was a great movie, man. I was engaged from ear to ear. The actress in it, the main female was lead. She was so great and so badass, and it's just such a good movie, man. I couldn't help but just love the movie. Matter of fact, I just got it on DVD. I just haven't watched it yet for another time. But number 7 is a movie I'm mad that's not on DVD. It just finally came out on digital download, but I don't like digital download. I'd rather get the actual Blu-ray. But it should have came out like 3 months ago on Blu-ray because it came out in the summer, and it's straight out of Compton. Straight out of Compton. I'm a hip hop fan. I loved NWA growing up, and probably shouldn't have listened to him at that time. But I'm a big Ice Cube fan still. I'm a Snoop fan. So the movie took place in their life, and man, was it. Yeah, watching that movie and like I knew the stuff that happened, or I knew of it, and just for it to delve into it and break down these characters in such a great way, and all the actors in it, including Ice Cube's son, were phenomenal. And there's some talk of the guy who played Eazy-E getting a nom. I don't think that'll happen because the acting talent this year were so great, but he was great at Eazy-E, and what they did with the movie was great. I felt like I was listening, just in the movie theater jamming. And um, I hope people come out of the movie with a greater understanding for not just the music of what those guys did, but the message that was in their music and as in the movie as a whole. Because we got to learn as a generation that about a lot of things. There's a lot of messages in this movie, and I don't think people really got it, but I hope they did because it's all relevant now. It's stuff that they were rapping about back then, and the movie came out, and the stuff was happening when the movie came out. It's still going on. So I mean, it's a definitely relevant movie, and I love it. And I can't wait till it comes out on DVD. I'm waiting to watch this movie again and to hang out with these characters in a way. Number 6 is another movie that I love with Matt Damon and a star-studded cast like Chiwetel Ejiofor and such, is The Martian. The Martian was such a breathtaking movie, directed by Ridley Scott. And it's funny because I think I did a review. I did a review for this one. Ridley Scott has been so sorry, really, but his last ton of movies have been terrible. And so I was kind of nervous going into this movie, but the Castaway in Space, man, is so good. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's got you by. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. All the movies are beautiful, but it was beautiful. It's just a great movie all around, man. I can't wait to get that one. I mean, everything I mentioned today, I'm definitely getting on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to watch. I think everything on this list, I've either have watched multiple times, I've egged on people to watch it, and I think most of them, period, that I talked about, or all movies I rave about. But let's go to number five. And number five is actually one of the movies that reason why this movie it took me so long to do this video, and I didn't do it technically in 2015. I did it now in 2016. Is The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, man. And the reason why I waited is because, for one, this is the one that everybody was claiming Leo's going to get his Oscar, and a lot of people are saying he should have his Oscar already. And I'm like, if you look, people, I mean, a lot of people that make the argument didn't see the people that won, like Dallas Buyers Club and stuff like that. And it's like, as good as Leo is, I don't know. I mean, it's like it's always like this. If you went with Leo, people wouldn't have been mad. But if you went with this guy, you're not really gonna be mad either. I mean, just Leo is just constantly great. And the director, no, I'm not gonna get his name right. I'm just gonna say Inarritu. I know his name Inarritu. Alejandro Inarritu. I believe this is how he said it. In 2014, he did Birdman, and that was my favorite movie of the year. And even beat out Guardians, because that movie with Michael Caine, that movie was just great. And I was excited to see what he did next, because if you make my favorite movie of the year, I have to see what you do next. And what he did in this movie, and I have a review coming out soon, so I'll go into more detail. But what they did, Leo, Tom Hardy, and Inarritu as a director was so amazing, man. It was, oh my goodness, I was in the movie just captivated, and I couldn't look away. I was enjoying the heck out of that movie. But I'll go into more of that in the review of how I felt about that, which will be up today too. Number four, and I can't stand this movie. I love, but I can't stand that it's getting so much hate, and that's the Avengers: Age of Ultron. I love that movie, and I don't get the fanboyism of being so hard on a movie because it wasn't what you wanted. It's a good movie. That's what we come to see, and that's the hard thing with all these big franchises, that you want the movie to be the way you was picturing it. Well, no, you should want to go in and watch a good movie with good characters. And coming from a comic book movie, if the characters are acting like the characters that you grew up with, as long as they have that essence, that's what all you should care about. It shouldn't be, oh, so and so doesn't look exactly like that, or so and so did this and I don't agree with him doing that. Well, hold on, is he kind of that? Did he embody this character? Then shut up. Oh, that's not exactly how the Age of Ultron story was supposed to go in the comics. That's because it's not the comic book; it's the movie. And like, oh man, I so want to defend this movie so much. I love this movie, and people get mad about all the joking and stuff like that. That's what when me and my friends are together, no matter what's going on, we're joking all the time. So if you're with your friends and you're kicking people's butt, and you got Iron Man's powers, you got Thor's powers, you're gonna talk crap with your friends while you're beating up people. That's just what you're gonna do. So. Whatever. That's no, Avengers is number four. I thought it would have been higher through this year, but a couple movies beat it out. And these movies, man, I raved about these two. And these ones actually don't have as much flack either. But number three, Inside Out. A kid movie made it onto my top 10 list, man. And Inside Out, if that movie wasn't just phenomenal in every way, Pixar just does what Pixar does. This movie pulls you in from the short before the movie, the volcano short. I have a dream. I'm still in my head. Matter of fact, they don't even do the short before the movie on DVD, and I'll still play it because it was so good. And then all the emotions. It's funny. It's good humor for adults, good humor for kids. It's for everybody to watch, and it'll make you really think. It made me think of a time when I was a kid and stuff I never really thought about. Like, oh yeah, maybe that's why some things I enjoyed as a kid now as an adult I don't care about, or I don't do as much, or whatever. It's like that's actually kind of true. It all makes sense. They made it complex enough for an adult to really think about, but they made it simple enough for a young kid to think about, and that's what Pixar does best. So number three is Inside Out. Number two is actually the first film I think I've only been reviewing movies for a year. This is the first movie that I reviewed that got a 10, and that's Creed. And man, that I constantly was going back and forth with Creed be number one, would be number two. It was no doubt in my mind it was going to be one of those two spots when I first saw Creed. So good, Michael B. Jordan, and crap, I can't think of the director's name off the top of my head. Coogler? Ryan Coogler, I believe his name is, and now he might be directing Black Panther. I can't wait because Ryan Coogler also gave him and Michael B. Jordan also did Fruitvale Station, so that was already excitement for me, and probably it would have been on my top 10 anticipated as well. And Sylvester Stallone, so it's the Rocky, but we're following a different path. And man, was that movie good! The direction of the movie was great. The action in the movie was great. The acting, the movie in my eye. I mean, granted, it's not a perfect movie, but for me, it was. Although whatever flaws were in it, I had a hard time pointing them out. To be honest, I do my best to point out flaws in any movie I see, just because I don't want to just be praising the movie just to praise it. But man, I couldn't say nothing wrong about Creed. Man, that movie was so good. And now for my number one. And my number one is obvious. If you know me, I'm not wearing a Star Wars shirt right now, but dang it is Star Wars and Force Awakens. And I think it's funny that just like Avengers, and it makes sense because it's another movie that's a franchise, the hate that Star Wars is getting. Like I gave it a 9.8 on my out of 10, and after seeing it, I still would give it a 9.8. It's still my favorite, maybe my number one on the list. Because I'm a fan of the franchise. I love the characters. Yes, there were some things they did that were formulaic, similar to New Hope, and some plot holes. And there's I'm not going to spoil anything, but some things I think they could have did better. I wanted them to do differently, and questions they didn't answer. But hey, I have more movies coming that were going to answer all those things. So yeah, I had fun. I watched the movie. I've now seen it. Now I'm recording this. I've seen the movie 4 times. In theater. So, yeah. Shows, Star Wars poster. Star Wars poster. Star Wars poster. And I actually should have 3, but I didn't get the special one in LA that I was supposed to. I forgot about it. So I missed that one. And I'll be getting one more because I'm going to see it again Saturday. So I'll be seeing it again tomorrow. And that'll probably be the last time I see it in theaters. But I got to get my posters, man. And the movie's good, so good. And I'm trying to find all the issues that people are having, but they don't bug me. So the movie just gets better as I see it. But anyway, so that's my top 10. So I'll go through them again. Number 10, The Night Before. 9 is Kingsman. Mission Impossible is number 8. Straight Outta Compton. Coming straight out of Compton. Number 7. The Martians, number 6. The Revenant, number 5. Man, I got to watch that movie again. That movie's so good. The Avengers, number 4. Inside Out, number 3, Creed, number 2, and number 1, of course, is Star Wars. On that note, that's all I got for you guys today, or for this video, because I got more to shoot. But deuces, and may the Force be with you, always.